Welcome to J Hart Model Works. I'm Justin, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ultimate Modeling Products customizable sanding sheets. Welcome to my workbench. Let's get started. Alright, before we begin, I do want to ask you guys to bear with me. I have a bit of a cold. I think it started out as allergies, and it's may have turned into a sinus infection, but there may be some sniffling, coughing, sneezing. I will do my best to edit as much of that out as possible. I probably sound a little weird, but just wanted to let you know ahead of time that is because I have been sick. Since this is a product review, I want to go ahead and state for the record that I am not sponsored by Ultimate Modeling Products. I did not receive free products for this review. I did not receive discounts for my products for this review. I did purchase the product from Ultimate Modeling Products at umpretail.com. I purchased the Ultimate Customizable Sanding Sheet Multi-Pack for $8.64. Now you can also purchase this if you're in the States, like I am. HobbyWorldUSA.com carries UMP's product line, and they carry the UMP Customizable Sanding Sheet Multi-Pack, the same pack that I purchased here, for $9. These sanders also come in individual packs, so the sanders come in 240, 400, 800, and 1200 grits. They sell the individual packs for the same price, so I'm going to assume that you get 4 sheets if you purchase just 1 grit. So that takes care of that. This is not a paid advertisement. This is me using a product that I purchased for use in my hobby. Now you guys know I love my UMP thinny sticks. These things are my bench workhorses. They're pretty much the only actually they are now the only sanders that I use are these thinny sticks. And these things are great because you can really get into a lot of places with them. But there are situations where you just can't reach, or there's an odd kind of an angle you need to sand into. Maybe you're sanding into a point where, 2 walls meet or something, and that's where these really come into their own, because you can actually cut these to shape, to any kind of shape that you need. You can cut thin strips with them. So let's open this up and take a look at these here real quick. So what you get in the package are 4 sheets. There is complaints on, especially on the thinny sticks, there are some complaints that they're not labeled. And that's true, they aren't labeled on the grits. However, with UMP products, there is your 240 grit is going to be usually white cord. Just like, no, that's the 12. It's going to be white cord, and it's going to have a rougher grit than the 1200, obviously. So if you see this is my 12, and I just marked them so that I know what I'm looking at. This is my 1200, this is my 200, and you can clearly tell the difference in touch between which one is which. Also, the 240 grit is darker. Almost black, and the 1200 grit is lighter gray. Same goes in here. So your black is your 240 grit, and it's got the white backing. 400 grit always has the yellow. If you compare with my 400 thinny stick, has the yellow core. 800 grit is always orange. And your 1200 grit on here has the black backing and the light gray sandpaper. These are some parts for a project that I'm currently working on. Don't know if you can see, but Aoshima, I tried sanding these with the regular thinny sticks, so some of the work is already done, but you can see kind of right there, there's a ejector pin mark. There's another one over here, and they're down here as well. I was able to get these because there's a little bit of room here, but I had a hard time getting these because I can't get my thinny stick really in. I can kind of sand and I can really get about that far. So I can sand it this side and I can sand flat, but I start running the risk of damaging this clutch handle. So what we're going to do is we're going to hope that this works better. There's much more room in here. I got much bigger gap. With the thinny stick, I run into that clutch handle and I can't get between there without bending this up and risking breaking the part. So you're going to take your hobby knife, score this a couple of times, just break you off a piece. If you needed, say you were sanding into a corner that was at an angle, you could just kind of cut that off, and then you'd have that angled corner that you need, and you could just kind of sand straight in there, and because you can shape this the way you need it, you could get deep into the corner, deeper than you could with some kind of a sanding stick. Get myself into the frame here. Now I have gone ahead and primered I find that primer helps me see a little better. A gloss black plastic kind of hides imperfections sometimes. So I'm going to channel my inner Paul here. You don't have to push real hard, just let the sander do the work. Kind of rotate your part where you need it. Clean that up when it comes time to paint. So you see, with this thinner sander, I can get underneath that clutch handle, so I can sand smooth over this, and then I can rotate. Another nice thing about this is you can take and you can bend it. So you can get kind of a curve in there. But I can really get in just about any angle I need to get. I don't have to put a lot of pressure in. I don't have to worry that I'm going to snap something off. Now I use a lot of the 400 and 800 grit. I go through 400 and 800 grit thinny sticks enough that I'm probably going to order just a pack of 400 and 800, because I go through them faster than anything else. Now I usually buy the multi-packs like this so I can get a little bit of everything. It's a good deal, especially if you just want to try something out. You've got everything you need, find which ones you really want, and then just purchase just those. I usually buy from UMP Retail Direct. I like supporting my fellow hobby modelists. That being said, you know, Matt over at Hobby World is also one of us. And I might start buying from Matt. Sorry, Paul. but the shipping from the UK is just unreal. And that's not just UMP. That's not, you know, some sellers will price gouge on shipping and then, you know, to make up some extra profits. But a lot of guys that I've spoken to in the UK have been saying that, yeah, just shipping out of the UK is just unreal. I don't know if that's something to do with Brexit. I don't understand, you know, the Brexit politics enough to say if that's what it is or what, but shipping prices have seriously increased coming from the UK. We've finished with our 400, and we're going to cut off a nice little sliver of our 800. Again, I'm going to curve this because I'm going to be going at it from a different angle. So we sanded across this way. With the 800, I'm going to sand back and forth. And being able to bend like this, I can actually bend straight around the handlebar. So it's a lot better. There's still a little bit of a divot here, so we may go back and just redo this real quick. The thing is, these are reusable as well. You can actually take and just rinse these off with a little bit of water. Maybe put a drop of soap in there and just rinse them off. So just because you cut a small sliver off doesn't mean that you have to throw it away immediately. So I mean, I've barely been using pretty much this part. This is still pretty much brand new sander, so I can actually keep this, just throw it up on my desk over there in my little pile of sanding stuff. But I used the Tamiya sanding sponges as well, but I find that the sanding sponges, you can use them once or twice, maybe 3 times, and you're pretty much out of sanding material. It's just sponge at that point. So we're going to go back with our 800 grit. And there you go. So at that point we are looking good. No more ejector pins. So I'm going to say that these were fantastic. I still have like entire sheets of this stuff left. Again, I can clean these up and reuse them again later. In fact, I'm going to have to reuse them again when I come to do this other handlebar, which I tried cleaning this up with the hobby knife. So I got most of the shape off, but it's really not smooth. You can definitely see in it, like right here where I flattened stuff, so I'm going to need to round that. So I'm going to come in with a UMP thinny sponge. These are all 200 grit, or I'm sorry, 240 grit. But just come back in and clean up my work with the thinny sponge as best as I can. I can't get in between here. Paul, if you're watching this, a little bit of customizable with just a tiny bit of sponge would be a good product idea. You don't need a lot of sponge like this, but just enough that we could get in there and maybe just get a little bit of sponge action in there to smooth stuff out. That would be something to look into. Not sure if Paul watches my videos or not, but there you go. And at this point, so we've done the 400, we've done the 800. Let's go for a little bit of 1200. Break that off. So like I was saying, this is a 240 grit sponge, but this has been used a lot, so this is really dulled down a bit. I'm pretty much just rubbing the sponge on it, so it's pretty gentle at that point. Brand new, the thinny sponges are fairly aggressive, so you want to be careful with them. And there we go. That's going to about do that. So we've got a nice, smooth, round handle. No more ejector pin marks. It's nice and round. There's no flat spots. So that was the UMP Retail's customizable sanding sheets. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click a like, give me some comments below. I enjoy reading your feedback and interacting with you guys as much as I can. If you're not a member of the channel, if you're not subscribed to the channel, sorry, not a member, I think that's a different thing. I think there's like a join thing or something, I don't know, I haven't looked into that. But if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing, and have a great day.